Whether we like them or not, doors, windows, and breakable walls are a part of Vanguard, and despite their problems, they can help you gain the upper hand during a game. So here are some tips on using doors, windows, and planked walls to gain information, mislead your opponent, or give you the upper hand in a gunfight. You know what to do, so let's hop right in with doors. Doors might seem pretty straightforward, but there are a plethora of ways that you can utilize them. The first way is as momentary cover while you're challenging a line of sight or an enemy on the other side of the door, and you essentially do so by just bursting through it if it's closed, but my favorite use of it is if you find that a door is open towards you. Don't just walk through the open doorway, push behind the door and use it as a visual piece of cover as you burst through it. It just adds another layer of confusion and chaos that might help you gain the upper hand in a gunfight and break your opponent's camera. Doors can also be used as a place to stand. It's highly situational, but it's good to know. Just keep in mind that any stun or nade could move the door and you could just fall off of it, but it's kind of a fun way to maybe get a kill or two. Moving on, you can close doors that are open and use them as audio cues if you're worried about getting flanked. Especially in situations where you need to worry about multiple lines of sight at once, you can close a door and focus on one direction, and if at any point someone tries to flank you, you'll hear them come through the door. Lastly, in game modes like Search and Destroy, which is very information heavy, paying attention to which doors or planked walls and windows are open can give you a clue as to the route your opponent has taken. On the other hand, if you're taking a route and want to cover your tracks, shut doors behind you or take an open window instead of a door to give them a sense of security when they're approaching. Furthermore, if you're well through a respawn game and you notice that a door is shut that surely should have been open during the opening gambits, be wary because there's likely someone hiding behind it. Next we have windows. Windows, although finicky, can offer a few advantages. The first of which is peeking into a line of sight that you think might be guarded. Windows are better than doors in this regard because they offer a natural head glitch, so ensure that you're crouched when you're opening a window and it should help you minimize yourself as a target. Secondly, holding an objective by standing on a windowsill that's on a higher floor allows you the ability to walk backward and quickly drop down if you feel as though you might lose a gunfight and need to play your life. Lastly, there are specific windows that people either don't expect you to be able to jump through or don't seem possible. However, knowing these jump spots not only offer you an alternate way to break into an objective, but they also allow you to enter a room without the sound cues of doors, leaving your opponent unaware of your presence. Before we move on though, just keep in mind that windows with shutters should be avoided if the shutters are still intact. The reason is because they're going to slow you down and sometimes get you killed. Try to also train your muscle memory to only jump through them if you're on the inside of buildings, as this is the only time it won't hinder your mobility. Finally, we have wood planks. Wood planks are notoriously finicky in that sometimes they don't allow you to burst through them, specifically the ones over windows, and you end up needing to melee them to either get through or see through them. Although there is a setting that you can turn on to allow you to break them when you're sprinting into them, it is still inconsistent, mostly because there are a few things you want to be doing if you want to burst through a wall or window that's planked. The first of which is of course to be sprinting. Even in situations where you just want to be able to look through the window, simply sprinting into it and then pulling back should break all of the planks and allow you to see through. The failsafe method that I tend to use when I'm trying to get through a planked window is to just jump through it, as it works about 90% of the time. My favorite way to use planked windows is to use them as a camera breaking mechanism. If you know that there's an opponent on the other side of a window that's planked, jumping into it but sticking your landing on the windowsill allows you to not only take your opponent by surprise, but it places you at a slightly higher elevation so that your opponent's bullets will hit your legs rather than your body or head. Just make sure that you're not jumping all the way through and landing on the windowsill itself. Check out this video for some tips on how to move quicker on the map, but that does it for today's video. I'll see you tomorrow on day 22 of 30 of posting every day. You know what to do. My name is Drew, this was Sablehound, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, I want to be famous.